die.
What do you mean they'll die?
The person who really did it will kill me.
They're not going to kill you because...
They're on the run. They're already hiding from y'all.
Who is it? Can you tell me who it was?
Tobias.
Who is Tobias?
I don't know his last name.
How do you know Tobias?
17-year-old Bailey Forrest sits across from detectives in a Lubbock, Texas interrogation room. She's not under arrest. She came willingly. She's been talking for hours, describing a sugar baby arrangement with a man nearly 3 times her age. She seems cooperative, helpful even. But what she's about to tell investigators will reveal one of the most brutal murders in recent Lubbock history. Just days earlier, on September 27, 2022, a garbage truck driver called police about a vehicle blocking an alley near 45th Street and Boston Avenue. When officers arrived, they made a horrific discovery. 50-year-old Robert Stewart was dead in the backseat of his own Toyota RAV4. Stewart's body shows signs of blunt force trauma to his head and torso, but something is off. The blood evidence has been cleaned. The body has been washed. Someone went to great lengths to eliminate physical evidence. This wasn't where he died. This was where someone dumped him.
17-year-old Bailey Forrest and another 16-year-old girl also charged with Robert Stewart's murder. Police were called after a driver found Stewart's car blocking the alley near 45th in Boston on Tuesday. According to court documents, police say he suffered from blunt force trauma, and it doesn't appear he was killed in his car. The documents also show Stewart's body had been cleaned in an attempt to minimize that blood evidence.
Fingerprints lifted from the vehicle lead investigators to 17-year-old Bailey Forrest. When detectives bring her in for questioning, she tells a story about a sugar baby arrangement, a paid encounter that went wrong, and a teenage boy who she claims beat Stewart to death with a wooden bedpost while she begged him to stop. But as the interrogation unfolds, inconsistencies emerge. Evidence at her apartment tells a different story, and the question becomes, was Bailey Forrest a terrified witness to a murder, or was she an active participant in a robbery-turned-homicide? This is the case of a 17-year-old girl, a 50-year-old man who paid teenagers for physical encounters, and a brutal killing that would take 3 years to resolve in court. In August 2025, Bailey Forrest pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. But the full story of what happened that day, and who was truly responsible, is far more complex than it first appears. Robert Stewart was 50 years old, living alone in Lubbock. He had no children, no known wife at the time of his death. But he had a pattern of behavior that would ultimately lead him to Bailey Forrest's apartment. Stewart contacted young women via Facebook, offering them money, sometimes for conversation, sometimes for their time, and sometimes explicitly for illicit purposes. Court records indicate he had between $100 and $150 in cash on him when he visited Bailey's apartment. Bailey Forrest, then 17, lived in a rented apartment in the 2100 block of 51st Street with her siblings, Sarah, 17, and Cheyenne, 18, as well as Andre Wheeler, 19, and others. It was a chaotic household with young people coming and going. According to Bailey's own statements during her interrogation, Stewart had first contacted her via Facebook about a year before the murder. He offered her money to chat, to video call, sometimes just for her time. The relationship, such as it was, would go months without contact, then he would reach out again.
So when did he start messaging you? Like the first time? Do you remember exactly?
Not met him. I started I would say almost a year ago.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
But we would go months without messaging,
okay.
And then he would text me again and be like, hey, and then I would respond. We would text, we'd maybe video chat. Then it'll go another couple months.
Bailey admits to the arrangement. She needed money. Stewart was willing to pay. It was transactional, nothing more.
He basically just sent me a picture of money and was like, I'll give you this to just talk to me. And I was like, okay. And he just asked to video chat sometimes, stuff like that. And we didn't really even talk really. We weren't close, we weren't friends really.
Yeah.
We weren't,
And how long ago was that?
he came to my house. I met him for the first time about 5-6 days ago.
Okay. So let's see, today is Thursday, so maybe was it over the weekend?
I'd say maybe Monday.
Monday of this week?
Maybe Monday.
Okay.
On September 26th to 27th, 2022, Stewart visited Bailey's apartment. She says he arrived around 2 or 3 p.m., parking his dark green Toyota RAV4 at the curb in front of her building.
So he came over, do you remember what time it was that he came over?
Maybe 2 or 3.
In the afternoon?
It was I know it was I had just woken up, maybe got up like for an hour, and I woke up around like 12 or 1, so maybe like 2 or 3.
Okay. And do you remember what he was driving when you came over?
It was like a mom car.
What happened next depends on who you believe. Bailey would tell police one version of events, a version where she was a victim of circumstance, terrorized by a violent boy who showed up unexpectedly and killed Robert Stewart while she pleaded for his life. But the physical evidence would tell investigators something different. When detectives bring Bailey Forrest in for questioning on September 29, 2022, she's not under arrest. She consents to the interview. She provides her phone number, her passcode, permission to search her phone, and DNA. She seems cooperative, even helpful. The interrogation lasts for hours. Detective Gerber starts with the basics. How did you know Robert Stewart?
Robert is an older guy, and we've been investigating this for several days now. So we've been able to get like into his phone account and his Facebook stuff, and so we've looked at all that, and we've talked to a lot of people, and you know, one of the really beneficial things for us is it seems like everybody nowadays has surveillance cameras on their house, on their business, and so one of the benefits for us when we investigate stuff is that we're able to get surveillance video from all kinds of places. And you know, forensic stuff is huge for us too. Blood evidence, DNA, fingerprints, all that stuff. And so, how do you know Robert?
He
And
isn't.
I need you to be. This is incredibly important because this is serious, and so I need you to be
Yeah, I'm
incredibly
feeling really
honest.
bad right now. Like that's really sickening. Cause I think I know who you're talking about, and I met up with him like 5 days ago.
Okay, where at?
My house.
Okay, did he come over?
Yeah, he came over
Okay.
to my house.
Bailey explains the sugar baby arrangement. Robert would give her money, $50 for her time, $100 for intimate services. On this particular visit, she says, she provided those services and then went to change her clothes in another room. That's when, according to Bailey, Stephen Tobias Salazar showed up. Salazar, she claims, was 16 years old, about 6 feet tall, light-skinned Hispanic with tattoos covering his arms and hands. She describes him as someone who knew everything to do, implying he had experience with violence.
Well, we have a lot of evidence already. Did it happen at your house?
Stop! And I don't know what came over him. I don't know why he was so angry. He didn't even know him. And I don't know if it was because Tobias wanted his money or what he wanted. He wouldn't stop. He was going to beat us as well. And that's all she kept saying was, he's going to kill us too. He's going to kill us too. But he did. As soon as he did it, he left and he disappeared. Like Tobias disappeared.
So tell me exactly what happened and why when Robert came over and what happened when he came.
Okay. Tobias and Isabella knew what I did with Robert. They knew I wanted him to come over, that I was gonna get money from him.
Now, can we back up just a second? Is this really the first time that he's ever given you money?
Yes.
Have you ever met him? Is that true that you've never met him
Yes,
before?
that is
Okay.
true. That is very true.
Okay. So they knew. So Tobias and Isabella, are they together?
No.
They just.
He hates her.
Oh, okay.
He hates her. And that's why we thought he was going to kill us too. He doesn't like us either. And so I told them what I was doing. I told them I'm having someone come over. I'm getting money so I can get my boyfriend out of jail. That's what I wanted to do, was bail Jay out. So I let him come over. And I'm walking him in the back room. And I thought Tobias was in the room, like the front room of my house. But he wasn't. So when we were in the living room, and I had went to my back room to change, and by the time, like, Isabella wasn't in there either when it happened. Like, when it first happened, nobody was in there but Tobias and him, and we didn't know that. Me and Isabella didn't know Tobias was in the living room. I had went back to
Where did y'all think he was?
I thought he was, okay, I went to my room to change. And Isabella was in Sarah's room. And I thought Tobias was in Cheyenne's room. So when I came out from changing, no, I had heard it. I heard Tobias hit him. I heard the first hit.
According to Bailey's account, while she was changing clothes, she heard a bang. She came back to find Salazar beating Robert Stewart with a wooden bedpost, a circular wooden club with indentations, one of the decorative posts from a bed frame in her apartment.
And we went out there to buy beating him, and we couldn't get him to stop. Like, we were begging him, and I swear to God, we were begging him. If you get her to tell you, she will tell you we were begging him. And we were like this, and we were telling him, Tobias, stop, like, what are you doing? Stop. And he was like, I could see him going in his pockets. I could see him going in his pockets, etc. And I knew he was looking for money. He didn't have any money on him. And after that, I don't even know, Tobias took him. Tobias drug him out of my house. Tobias took him wherever he took him. And he came back, he cleaned my house, and he disappeared.
Okay. What was he hitting you with?
It was like a big, I don't even know what it was. It was like a big wooden thing. It went to my bed.
Oh, it's part of your bed? Is it still on your bed?
No.
Where is it?
I don't know. He took everything. Tobias has the stuff.
What all did he take?
I know Tobias was burning it.
The attack, she says, lasted 5 to 10 minutes. Salazar delivered approximately 20 blows to Stewart's head. Robert didn't resist. He didn't fight back.
How many times did he hit him?
God, I can't tell you. He wouldn't stop. Like, he was just beating. I would say at least 20 times to the head.
Was he on the floor when it happened? What was Robert saying? Or what was he doing? He wasn't doing anything. Okay.
So you might not find it.
Do you know where he was burning it at? How do you know he was burning it?
He told us that's what he was gonna do. He was telling us, I'm gonna handle it, I'm gonna burn it, I'm just not gonna come back on y'all.
Was he messaging you this?
No, like this was in person. Like I was screaming at him. I was like, this is my house. What are you doing to him? Like, what are you doing? We were begging him to stop. Isabella was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. And then I'm not gonna lie, like I freaked out. In the past couple of days, I've just been mute.
Okay.
Mute. I'm not gonna lie, I've been keeping up with the news.
Bailey claims she and a 16-year-old girl named Isabella begged Salazar to stop, but they were terrified for their own lives. They watched as Robert Stewart was beaten to death in Bailey's living room. But here's where the story starts to unravel. After Stewart was dead, according to Bailey, Salazar took control. He dragged the body to the side door of the apartment. The RAV4 was parked right there, close to the door. Salazar tried to load the body into the car alone, but dropped it. He screamed for Isabella to help, and she jumped into the back passenger seat, helping pull Stewart's body into the vehicle from inside.
I don't know what he was doing.
Was there blood anywhere else on the walls?
He cleaned everything spotless.
What was he using to clean?
It smelled like bleach.
Then came the cleanup. Salazar used bleach, towels, a Swiffer mop, and cleaning spray to scrub blood from the wooden floor and baseboards. Bailey and Isabella, she claims, helped minimally. She says she was vomiting from the trauma, covering spots of blood with towels while Salazar directed the cleanup.
What was he using to clean with?
All of our stuff.
Like what stuff?
Every one of our towels, every one of our clothes, my sister's clothes, my clothes. And he took it all though. He took everything, he used everything.
And none of that is there anymore?
No.
Okay.
He took everything and like he put it all in like a tote and he put it in the car with him and he left.
What car?
He was in that guy's car.
Okay.
And he put him in the car. After he cleaned everything, he had him in the car. And I guess he came back in, he grabbed the tote, he had everything in the tote. Like, he was really organized, he cleaned really good, he was really organized.
All the bloody items, towels, the Swiffer, cleaning supplies were placed in trash bags in a tote. The wooden bedpost, still covered in blood, was among them. Salazar then drove off with Isabella in the RAV4, taking Stewart's body with him.
The only reason he left the Swiffer was because he told me if I wanted to.
Okay.
I could.
Did you, Mom?
No.
Okay.
I didn't clean my house after that because he cleaned it really good.
Okay. Was there blood on the walls or on the ceiling or anywhere else that you saw, or was the only place, pretty much the only thing he cleaned, the floor?
Like right, the baseboards and the floor.
According to Bailey, Salazar dumped the body in an alley. Isabella later told Bailey that Stewart was still moving, still breathing when they left him there, which is why they abandoned the vehicle so quickly.
She told me what he was telling her, how he was scaring her, how she freaked out so bad that she was the one that made him stop in an alley because she couldn't go further with him. And that his plan was to take the body further, but that she couldn't go further with him because she was like scared. She said she was scared of the body because he was still alive. And she said that she thought he was moving, and so she was freaking out.
But Salazar wasn't done. That evening, according to Bailey, he called her from a random number. He told her he had left the murder weapon and bloody evidence in the backyard of her mother's abandoned house. If she didn't want her mother to get in trouble, she needed to burn it. Bailey says she and Isabella went to the house, found the items, and burned them in a backyard fire pit. She even took a photo of the fire.
No, I did not go with them, but I was there when they burnt it. He didn't burn it then. Tobias made us burn it. Tobias wasn't there. He put it there and told us if we didn't, like, we had to go burn it. That it was at my mom's house, in my mom's backyard.
How did he know?
I don't know. I have never taken him there, ever in my life. I have never took him there, ever. And he was telling me it was in my mom's backyard. And so I went.
So why did you burn it?
Because I didn't want it to be in my mom's backyard.
Why didn't you just call the police?
Because I was scared he will kill me.
It's a compelling story. Bailey is the victim here, a young girl terrorized by a violent boy, forced to help cover up a murder she didn't commit, too scared to call police. But investigators have problems with this version of events. First, there's the physical evidence. When police search Bailey's apartment, they find large areas of blood evidence. The cleanup wasn't as thorough as she claimed. They recover a partially burned wooden club, the bedpost she described. Second, there's the issue of the robbery. Just 11 days before Stewart's murder, on September 16, 2022, Bailey was allegedly involved in another crime. She and other teens, including David Lopez Jr., allegedly robbed Chase Hottinger at his apartment in southwest Lubbock. They stole his belongings and Lopez pointed a black pistol at him. This establishes a pattern. Bailey and her associates were willing to rob people. Could Stewart's death have started as a robbery that went too far? Third, there are inconsistencies in Bailey's story. She says she didn't know Salazar well, that he just showed up. But she also describes him giving very specific instructions about the cleanup, about where to dump the body, about burning the evidence. How would a random teenager know exactly what to do unless this was planned? And perhaps most damning, tipsters reported seeing 3 teens beating a man with a pole and dumping the body. 3 teens, not one. Despite these inconsistencies, Bailey maintains her story. She's cooperative, she's emotional, she seems genuinely traumatized. The detective tells her she can go home, that she's not under arrest, but warns her that charges might come later.
Listen, I told you from the beginning. If you cooperate, if you tell the truth, that you were going home. I told you that, right? I told you weren't under arrest. I told you I wasn't going to keep you here, and I told you we were going to let you go when you're finished. Okay? The best thing for you to do, in light of all this, is you need to go to your mom's and you need to stay away from everybody.
On September 30th, 2022, Bailey Forrest was arrested and charged with murder and aggravated robbery. The 16-year-old girl, Isabella, surrendered to police and was also charged with murder. Her case as a juvenile would be handled in juvenile court and remain confidential. On October 3rd, 2022, Stephen Tobias Salazar was arrested. police described him as a threat to the public. He was 16 at the time, but in January 2023, he was certified to stand trial as an adult. The case seemed straightforward. 3 teens had lured a man to an apartment, beaten him to death, and dumped his body. But proving who did what would turn out to be far more complicated. The murder case against Bailey Forrest and her co-defendants dragged on for nearly 3 years. In November 2022, Bailey was indicted for murder. In December 2022, she and David Lopez Jr. were indicted for the aggravated robbery from September 16th. The prosecution's case relied heavily on Bailey's own statements during her interrogation. She had admitted to arranging the meeting with Stewart. She has admitted to the physical act. She had admitted to helping clean up the blood. She had admitted to burning the evidence. But without physical evidence directly tying Salazar to the murder weapon, the case against him was shaky. It rested almost entirely on the word of Bailey Forrest and the 16-year-old girl, 2 co-defendants who had every reason to deflect blame onto someone else. On August 15, 2025, nearly 3 years after Robert Stewart's death, Bailey Forrest appeared in the 141st District Court before Judge Douglas Freitag. She pleaded guilty to murder. The aggravated robbery charge was dismissed as part of the plea deal. The sentencing hearing included a victim impact statement from Lindsay Stewart, Robert Stewart's widow. Her words were devastating. "I don't know that I'll ever be able to forgive you for what you did to Robert and for what you stole from me. Our justice system is not perfect. If I had been able to choose, you would have been sentenced to a much longer term. However, I must accept what justice that I can find and take solace in the fact that you will be incarcerated for 20 years for what you did."
A young woman sentenced to 20 years in prison for her role in the murder of a Lubbock man. 20-year-old Bailey Forrest was a teenager in September of 2022 when this crime happened. She pleaded guilty to murder for the death of 50-year-old Robert Stewart, whose body was discovered inside an SUV parked in an alley in central Lubbock. Court records show Stewart was not killed in the SUV because there were signs some of the evidence had been cleaned up. Stevens died from blunt force trauma.
Judge Freitag sentenced Bailey to 20 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. She received credit for 1,051 days, approximately 3 years, already served in the Lubbock County Detention Center. Under Texas law, she must serve at least half her sentence, 10 years, before becoming eligible for parole. The sentence was actually mid-range for murder in Texas, which carries a punishment of 5 to 99 years or life imprisonment. The plea deal meant Bailey avoided a potential trial that could have resulted in a much harsher sentence. But then came the twist that would shock everyone involved in the case. 2 weeks after Bailey's sentencing on August 29, 2025, the murder charge against Stephen Tobias Salazar was dismissed. Prosecutor Laura Beth Fawcett explained why. There was no physical evidence linking him to that murder, only the word of the co-defendants. Salazar had spent nearly 3 years in custody based entirely on the statements of Bailey Forrest and the 16-year-old girl. But those statements were inconsistent. The physical evidence, fingerprints, DNA, blood, didn't tie him to the crime scene. The murder weapon showed no forensic link to Salazar. Without corroborating physical evidence, the case couldn't go to trial. The charges were dropped. Salazar was released. The dismissal raised a troubling question. Was Bailey Forrest telling the truth about Salazar being the killer? Or had she successfully deflected blame for a murder she herself committed or participated in more actively than she admitted? The physical evidence showed Bailey's fingerprints in the car. Bailey admitted to arranging the meeting. Bailey admitted to being present during the attack. Bailey admitted to helping clean up. Bailey admitted to burning evidence. What if there was no Stephen Tobias Salazar beating Robert Stewart with a bedpost? What if Bailey's story was a carefully constructed lie designed to minimize her own culpability? We'll likely never know the full truth. Salazar has been released and isn't talking. The 16-year-old girl's case was handled in juvenile court and remains confidential. Bailey is serving her 20 years. As of January 2026, Bailey Forrest is incarcerated in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice System. She's likely housed in one of Texas's women's units, possibly the Mountain View Unit or the Christina Melton Crane Unit in Gatesville, which handle inmates convicted of violent crimes. There have been no public reports of disciplinary issues during her incarceration. Before her transfer to state prison, she spent approximately 3 years in the Lubbock County Detention Center without noted infractions. Bailey will be eligible for parole as early as around September 2032, 10 years from the effective start of her sentence in September 2022. If parole is denied, her maximum release date would be around August 2045. Whether she's granted parole will depend on multiple factors: her behavior in prison, her participation in rehabilitation programs, victim input from the Stewart family, and the parole board's assessment of whether she poses a continuing threat to public safety. Was Bailey the victim she portrayed herself as during that hours-long interrogation? A young girl coerced into helping cover up a murder by a violent boy with tattoos and a ski mask? Or was she an active participant in a robbery-turned-murder who successfully deflected blame? The dismissal of charges against Salazar suggests that investigators and prosecutors ultimately couldn't be certain who did what. They knew Bailey was involved. Her fingerprints, her admissions, the evidence at her apartment all confirmed that, but the extent of her involvement, whether she was primarily responsible or merely an accomplice, remains unclear. Some might argue that her cooperation with police, her willingness to provide her phone and consent to searches, her detailed description of events, all point to someone who was genuinely trying to help investigators understand what happened. Why would she cooperate so fully if she was the primary killer? Others might counter that her cooperation was calculated. By immediately pointing the finger at Salazar, by portraying herself as a scared teenager terrorized into helping, by providing just enough detail to seem credible while deflecting the most damning culpability, she may have been executing a strategy to minimize her own punishment. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Bailey Forrest was 17 years old. She was providing intimate services to a 50-year-old man for payment. She was living in a chaotic household with other teenagers. 11 days before Stewart's murder, she had allegedly been involved in an armed robbery. This was a young woman already on a dangerous path. Whether she actively participated in beating Robert Stewart to death, or whether she was present while someone else did it and then helped cover it up, the distinction matters legally but perhaps not morally. A man is dead. Bailey Forrest played a role in his death and its cover-up. She admitted as much. The 20-year sentence reflects that reality. It's not the harshest sentence she could have received. Murder in Texas can result in life imprisonment. But it's also not lenient. Bailey will spend her 20s and most of her 30s in prison. She'll be nearly 40 years old before she's even eligible for parole. Robert Stewart wasn't innocent. She was providing intimate services to a 50-year-old man for payment. He was exploiting young women in vulnerable situations. His behavior was predatory and illegal. The case is closed now. Bailey is serving her time. Salazar is free. The 16-year-old girl's case was resolved in juvenile court. No further charges are expected.